in this video I'm going to show you how to make these Tinkerbell cookies. Perfect for any Tinkerbell or fairy themed party. So stay tuned and I will show you how. Here are the things that I used: a ballerina outfit cookie cutter, a Tinkerbell wing cookie cutter, some sand and sugar, some disco dust, some shimmer dust, and some electric green food coloring by Color. Alright guys, let's get started. Alright guys, so first thing is go ahead and cut out your wings and your ballerina dress cutout of your dough. And I believe I got this from Etsy. I will double check and then I'll put it in the description box. But I'm sure that I got it from there. A lot of times, anything that is custom made, I usually either get it from Etsy or eBay. There's an eBay seller also that sells custom made stuff. He has a lot of stuff that's really neat. So I have here my two pieces. And what I'm going to do here is, I'm going to set this aside and I'm going to bring in my dress cutout. And these two here have like a little point, and this one's a little point. So I'm going to match those two V points together on the wings. And I'm just going to go ahead and cut that out. I'm going to do the best as possible to line that up. And I'm going to cut this part out. I don't need this. I do suggest doing this on top of your cookie sheet, but I'm just going to go ahead and transfer it with my spatula over there. So I'm just going to bring in my dress, and it's just going to match in like a puzzle piece. And I'm just going to put them together. Now, if you've seen my other videos, you know that I do this a lot with two different cookies to make one cookie, like, you know, kind of a custom-made cookie. And just going to make sure that these little pieces are, because once that cooks, it'll cook in there, it'll bake in there. So now I have my my Tinkerbell dress with her little wings into my baking sheet, bake it, and then we can get started, and you'll see how that attached once it bakes. Alright guys, so what I'm going to do here is just fill out the complete dress except for the straps. I'm going to leave that empty, so when I do my wings, it's going to be part of the wings. So I'm just going to do somewhat of a heart shape up here, and I'm going to kind of work quickly because I have a lot to cover. So I'm probably just going to do it in sections, even though I'm not going to do two separate sections. The dress is as one piece, but I do want to start up here for a little bit and then come down here. So I have here a tip number 2 in this like lime green, and I'm gonna do a little bit of a heart shape. And then I'm gonna start up here and spread this out really quick. And then I'm gonna do the dress really fast here. And I'm going to try not to do it too thick here at the bottom. Make sure this blends in at the top. Alright, so I'm happy with that. I'm gonna give it some time to dry so I can move on to my white, but that's about it. Alright guys, so this has had time to dry, so I have here a tip number 1, and what I'm going to do here is start off with one petal, and then I'm going to continue on. I'm adding another petal on each side, letting that dry, and continue on with the next petal, and so forth and so forth. So about each little scallop here, each little hill that you have here, like a little fan, each one is going to have a petal. And so let's start here with this one here. And I'm just going to bring it down and kind of come down here like a V and bring it up and fill it in. Kind of looks like a tie. So just pull it out at the end to have a nice little peak. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let this crust for a few minutes. Just a few minutes, just so when I add the next two petals here, they don't join together because we want to have that separation. So I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next. Alright, so I have another one here that's already dried, so I'm going to move on to the other next two petals, which is one on each side. And what I want to do here is keep it a bit wide at the bottom with a little tip at the end and kind of taper down towards the top part there because we don't want a lot of volume at the top because we still have to fill in the rest of them. And I'm going to do the next one here. I usually start at the bottom to make this V and then just move up, taper it at the top and fill it in. I'm going to do that to each petal. Make sure you taper it at the top. Okay, I'm going to grab another cookie that's already been dried. Okay, so I have here one that has all three dried. So I'm going to go ahead and do the other two. Filling it in, tapering at the top. Making sure that it has a nice little peak at the bottom. Start with a little V and bring it up, tapering at the top, filling it in. Okay, so now I'm going to move on to another one that's already dried. Alright, here I'm going to go ahead and do the other two, and I'll always have one left over because they're not evened. They're not even numbered, so I'm going to have another one. I already started on this one because I needed to move on with these cookies because this order was just really big. So I'm going to go ahead and fill these out, let them crust, and I'm going to do the last one, and then I'm going to move on to this. So we'll get to that step in just a second. Okay, now I'm going to do this other one here. Okay, so now I'm going to wait for this to dry because I don't have any more cookies with this very last one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab another cookie and move on to the wings while I let this crust, and then I'll do this thing, this little last petal last.